You could blink. The chauffeur
Secret Service.
I like that. Oh.
Hold on.
Who's calling? Say hello to your dad.
I'll take you home and just punish you. I need both of you.
Drink something. Drink something. Drink something. Let's get to know. I'm sorry.
Now, Jackie, we would love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that?
His name is Lee, goddammit.
Lee, we would love to see that.
The way of the fist is quite literally the only way for martial arts movie fans, but even the biggest of legends sometimes act silly while shooting their moves. On that note, here are the top 30 bloopers from martial arts movies and legends.
All right, here we go. And action.
3 months and not so much as a phone call. Oh my God, that made me so nervous. I slapped you so hard.
Oh, come on. Oh, my God. I got slapped for nothing.
It's kind of odd that we're kicking things off with Jackie Chan getting slapped for absolutely nothing, but such is life. I mentioned this list would cover both movies as well as legends, and it doesn't really get bigger than Jackie Chan when it comes to both of those aspects. In The Medallion, there's a sequence where his character Eddie Yang is supposed to get into an argument with Claire Forlani's character Nicole. Naturally, it involves a slap from the woman, because nobody cares about dudes getting whacked.
Nice. You clean up well.
Thank you.
Want to know the worst part? Claire didn't get the next one right either. Yeah, that had to suck for our man, because bro may be used to getting punched and kicked by absolute beasts like Ron Smorenberg and Benny Urquidez, but nothing would have hurt him harder than an unnecessary slap. We feel you, bro. We empathize with your pain.
Again?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. You do it purpose.
I'm sorry.
Are you doing purpose?
All right, try it again, Claire. A little bit harder.
Ah!
Damn! He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
We've got a legendary franchise now getting kicked off with a scene where Chris Tucker knew the sequel script. This is definitely not going to be the last Rush Hour entry you're going to see today, but as long as Jackie Chan is in the scene, it qualifies for the list. Over here, we see Carter and Lee in their final encounter against Ricky Tan, who falls straight onto a cab, which, as we all know, is never good news. In the actual movie, Carter says something silly about him trying to catch a cab.
It was an accident.
That's okay. We'll just say he tried to catch a cab.
But in the blooper, he said that bro wasn't going to make it to Rush Hour 3. That line was both an accurate prediction and a hilarious gag that I wish they kept in the final cut. But hey, you can't have it all, can you? So we'll work with what we've got.
I'm sick of you, Kenji. You've been trying to kill us ever since the start of this damn movie.
I don't know if it's a lost in translation thing or not. And maybe it is. But it has to do with the schedule scene. You see,
Michelle Yeoh has had enough with being an underrated martial arts legend and also with excessive burping during important scenes. Yeah, that's literally what happens here in this gem from Everything Everywhere All at Once. We see Michelle's character Evelyn doing her best to pay attention to what's being said, but James Hong, who plays Gong, just can't stop burping. Like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say that Gong really overdoes it. Bro was burping for longer than Benicio del Toro was farting in that iconic Usual Suspect scene. Michelle Yeoh clearly couldn't take more of this, as she straight up said that her co-stars are the worst. It was all in good jest, so there's nothing to worry about. But maybe Hong should check for acidity issues? That was way too long to be a prank, you know.
you guys are so bad. I refuse to cameo. Nobody is a serious actor here.
Who would have thought that a legend like Jet Li would actually be kind of goofy in his scenes? This blooper comes from the Forbidden Kingdom, which also has Jackie Chan, but the main subject of focus remains Jet Li. He's supposed to be playing Sun Wukong, who's a literal god, even being portrayed in games like Black Myth. However, in this particular sequence, he's just not able to run in the water. His costume may have had something to do with it, but it still looks super funny. This is a man who takes down beast-level fighters, so it's even more ridiculous to see him struggling with such a task, even though it might be a lot harder than it actually looks. Jackie Chan's also one of the characters in this scene, and his amusement is quite evident towards the end when everyone breaks into a laugh, including Jet Li. I suppose he saw the funny side to multiple takes, right?
sur 4 premières. And action.
It's not too difficult to imagine a dude like Jet Li always laughing in the face of a gun. After all, he's such an expert when it comes to fighting that weapons would completely unfaze him, and it looks like that attitude extends towards real life as well. In a blooper from 2005's Unleashed, Li's character Danny the dog is supposed to have a gun pointed right at his face and he's supposed to be reacting adversely.
Me, the master commands and the dog obeys. I will kill you.
However, in the process of trying to come up with some appropriate expression, our man ends up breaking into a laugh which completely neutralizes the seriousness of the scene. It was almost as if he was saying, "Really, bro? You think a gun is gonna spook me out?" Yeah, that's a certified badass right there.
Sam, we gotta go. What? He remembered. I was playing the music on the piano and he remembered.
Wait a minute. He remembered what?
Daddy. All those things that I said. I was right there.
We started off with some undue violence against Jackie Chan, but I suppose a little bit of romance would be enough to undo the slaps from Claire Forlani. In this sequence, she's once again supposed to be emotional and make the audience understand the weight of how she's feeling about Eddie after seeing his body. Yes, we all know that nobody has the brass tacks to kill Jackie Chan in a movie, but rather than explaining how our man gets resurrected by the titular Medallion, I'd much rather talk about how Claire ends up giving a light kiss to Mr. Chan right on the lips after he seemingly signals her to do so. Under normal circumstances, this should have been enough to make any man wake up from a coma, but in this case, it was a hilarious outtake that would have definitely made Jackie feel a bit better about the earlier slaps. There were some gag reels before it too, but obviously this one was the highlight. One thing about Stephen Chow is that he was so unserious, even as an auteur. His style of slapstick comedy works so well that even while portraying or directing martial artists on screen, he made it all about the humour. One of his many great films is Kung Fu Hustle, and in this sequence, we see his directorial abilities to full effect when the main villain, the Beast, engages in battle. Now, the scene in general is supposed to be subtly humorous, considering you've got a half-dressed dude flexing some serious fighting moves. However, during the shooting of the sequence, actor Si Lang Nguyen seemingly slips and loses all the aura he was farming till that point. It's an unintentional blooper, which is what makes it even more impactful. Speaking Chinese is no easy feat, but Stephen Chow gets mixed up in his own language here. The previous entry showed us what happens when Chow directs, and in this scene, we see what happens when he's acting too. Of course, it's an intentional choice, as his character Sing goes on about something like Sun Chun Zun or whatever. Look, I already said I don't know the language, but from whatever we're seeing in this blooper, neither do the natives. It got so ridiculous that both actors broke character and let out a little laugh. I swear, you need to watch more of his films to understand his style. It may seem extremely ridiculous at first, but if you pay close enough attention, you'll start understanding some patterns.
As soon as she could blink, this seafood service, seafood.
Secret Service.
Chinese may be tough, but if Jackie Chan thinks of Secret Service as seafood, then he needs to do a bit more brushing up on his language skills. This is supposed to be a pretty normal plane scene with both Lee and Carter talking casually, but then there's the mention of seafood and everyone gets confused. That's when we realize that Jackie's actually supposed to say secret.
It's not like she died, so she has a droopy eye, so she works at El Poco Loco.
That was temporary. As soon as she could blink, the Secret Service took her back.
Despite the multiple corrections, he still has a hard time, although he does clarify that he's only messing up when saying the words secret and service together. Chris Tucker, on the other hand, was definitely having some fun. Yeah, that straight face ain't fooling no one, bro. We all know you're enjoying this moment, aren't you?
I know secret. Secret, see? But when everything together becomes seafood.
No! Ah! What are you doing?
It's not often that we see Jason Statham being caught not being a gentleman. For starters, he's British, so this should be unacceptable, but it's a funny blooper and we're gonna let it slide. Funnily enough, that's exactly what happened to that poor lady on the jet ski as well. I don't quite know her name because she may have been an extra in the film, but she sure had to deal with some unpleasant flips as she kept sliding off the jet ski and falling into the water. Look, I know that Frank Martin's supposed to look cool and all, but this was just so random to watch even in the final cut. This lady clearly landed well there, but after seeing the bloopers, I just had to put it on the list.
You do. What?
Ready? Regroup.
Okay. What are you doing?
No, you just said to me, but I'll follow you.
Okay,
wherever you're gonna go.
A legend like Jackie Chan always makes the ladies laugh, but when it comes to Jennifer Love Hewitt, bro may have overworked his charm. I don't know what the reason was, but she kept laughing in so many scenes, which became evident when we got to see all the bloopers of the Tuxedo. Her character Dell's supposed to be having a serious talk with Jimmy Tong, but she keeps laughing every 5 seconds, and it completely befuddles Jackie. He even looks back at the camera multiple times as if to say, "Are you seeing this, bro?" If this was the case, I honestly don't even know how they managed to make this movie.
Do what we. Let's do what we came up. Quiet. Okay.
Let's just go.
Let's do what we came here to do.
Release the traffic.
I couldn't hold it any longer.
你可以揾到一個世外高人，哎呀，sorry。如果你幫我揾到一個世外高人，世外高人。
Despite him being showcased as the big baddie from Kung Fu Hustle, even the Beast can be caught lacking. Si Lung Luang is supposed to be a total boss man in this sequence where he talks to the other villains about working with them.
I killed so many over the years. So many just trying to find a worthy adversary. That's why I stay in my cell, because there was no one out there. I would have escaped long ago if I had found someone. If you find me such an opponent, then, young friend, I will make you an offer you cannot refuse. I will do it for free.
He then goes on and on about finding a worthy adversary, but at the point where he tells the suited goons to find him a suitable opponent, he seemingly messes up his lines. I wouldn't know because I don't understand the language, but Si Lung Luang kept messing this up, even smacking himself for his mistakes. It reached its peak when bro seemingly asked for the goons to find him a Superman, which is freaking hilarious if subtitles were accurate. Who knows, maybe he too wants to see what James Gunn has done to the Man of Steel.
如果你幫我揾到個世外超人，超人
Too low. Very hard.
Colin Cho's character Jade Warlord clearly seems to have a problem with oranges, particularly the Mandarin ones. Bro had so many takes where he catches one of them, but it kept going haywire, so I can only imagine how many oranges weren't spared any mercy for this one shot. Our boy was either missing them or crushing them too badly. Honestly, it was funny enough to see Colin Cho in such an elaborate get-up, but these bloopers were literally like the icing on the cake. He too knew this was getting out of hand, so even he started playing around at one point. Side note, if you really want to see Colin in proper action, watch Flashpoint, which has got Donnie Yen in it too.
Very well then. Let us see just how good your Kung Fu truly is.
Would you believe that a master like Scott Adkins had to save his lips with his teeth? Then again, he was up against John Wick, so anything's believable with that precedent. It's the epic fight against Killer where John's going crazy at his face with his fists. Now, there's no exact footage highlighting the blooper, but Scott Adkins said that Keanu Reeves kept getting his lips during the shot, so he had to make a really funny face by showing all his teeth.
On the first take, he has to pull a tooth out. So he did it, and Keanu probably doesn't know this. He grabbed my lip, and it really hurt. I was like, ugh. So on the second take, I've gone like that.
The director seemed to like it so much that he told Scott to keep doing that. So yeah, this is pretty much why Killer had that expression while he was getting whacked.
So we did take 2, and then Chad goes, Scott, come over here. I'm like, oh, gonna tell me off now. He goes, look at the monitor. And he goes, you see that? Whatever you're doing, do it again.
Drink something. Drink something. Drink something.
Let's get to know. That's how it is.
Raymond Tong is a great stuntman and may have thought he was being cool with this move here, but I don't think he realised that his man just wanted his drink. The sequence sees Rastaman handing over a drink, and it's actually an inconsequential moment in the film. However, he kept messing up the pass, and it makes for a memorable moment. As a matter of fact, this was so on point that in one of the interviews, some of the cast members considered it to be a highlight in the movie. You know, that's some high praise when the movie has Jason Statham in it, but not the blooper in question. To his credit, Raymond isn't usually this clumsy. He also did the stunts in Bad Boys too, so he checks out.
Relax. Drink something. Let's get to know each other.
你受傷咁重，唔好動氣啊！
I don't think anyone would have expected to hear a statement like Donut becomes Uncle Ben from every angle. It's not that I'm trying to make fun of anyone's eating habits here, but Kung Fu Hustle's bloopers are freaking funny. In this particular sequence, Donut is seemingly breathing his last, and he says Uncle Ben's iconic line about great power and great responsibility. His actor Zi Hua Dong actually looked serious here, but the moment the landlady tells him to rest, bro forgets he's in a family-friendly film. Now, I don't speak Chinese, so I can't tell what it is that's being said here, but I do know that it was so out of pocket that it left everyone in shambles. It's actually on point with the movie's general sense of humor too.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Donut, you are badly hurt. You must keep still.
This could be the end of a beautiful friendship.
No, Donut. Tomorrow is another day.
There are a lot of men chasing us. As well, there should be, because you're a very good-looking man. If I didn't have a girlfriend, I would take a run at you. I'd put you in a bubble bath, I'd put some water wings on you, and I'd smack your little bottom.
Who would have thought Ari Gold from Entourage would make Chris Tucker break character? Yeah, this scene may not involve a direct line from Jackie Chan, but it does have some interacting and laughing in the scene, so it counts for this list. So we have Jeremy Piven playing a sassy salesman who is of a certain passion, and he's really trying to butter up Lee by saying all kinds of things that involve bubble baths and other kinds of activities. This was so funny that Chris Tucker just couldn't hold it in, and he broke character the moment Piven turned to him. It's such a great scene because of the timing, and even the crew cracked up after watching Tucker lose it. Poor Jackie still looked like he was trying to understand what just happened, but he did eventually break out a smile too.
But listen, here's what we do, guys. Here's easy. Look at you're giggling at me. I'll take you home and just punish you. I need both of you.
The biggest sin in any grocery store is if you knock down all the cereal, which is exactly what happens here. Jet Li makes yet another appearance on today's video, in a scene so goofy that you'd normally associate it with someone like Seth Rogen or even Snoop Dogg. It's actually supposed to be a straightforward shot where Danny's making his way through a grocery store, but our man manages to fumble so badly that he knocks down an entire tower of cereals. It's absolute chaos right after contact is made, and I think Jet Li just resigns himself to the fact that this one's gonna need another take. Bro pretty much gave up and let it happen, which in itself was funnier than the actual blooper. I need to remind you once again that he's called Danny the dog, which is brilliant context for this goof up.
Jeez, get off! What are you? Get off your arsehole! Get off! Oh, he's got my balls, boss! I don't know what he's got on mine. Fuck's sake! Get off my balls!
Lady! Jackie, kick. Okay, Chris Tucker. Shut up. Jackie, kick. Jackie again? Oh,
You must be familiar with the line, "What's in a name?" Well, it's a heck of a lot if you're being paid to follow the script of a franchise that's grossed hundreds of millions of dollars. That's right, Chris Tucker seemingly couldn't get around calling Jackie by his character's name in the Rush Hour sequel. Instead of Lee, he kept saying Jackie, but it was getting not just to the director or the crew, but to Jackie himself. Bro even referred to Carter as Chris Tucker, hoping that it would help him remember, but that wasn't enough. Carter refers to Lee as Jackie in the very next take again, which prompted him to call that out too. It's even funnier, because they're saying this with serious faces while breaking down a door. This is why Rush Hour is pure comedy gold.
Now, Jackie, we would love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that? His name is Lee, goddammit. Lee, we would love to see that.
So her eyes a little droopy now, and she's working for El Lero Poco.
Jackie Chan can actually say his line better than Chris Tucker if they're speaking a neutral language. Chris may have had his fun earlier in this scene where Jackie was struggling to say secret, but now it's his turn to face the music, and it's actually a lot worse for him than it is for his buddy. The words in question are El Polo Loco, which shouldn't be that tough to say, especially for an American, but I guess Mr. Tucker was having a bad day. It goes so ridiculous that at one point, bro even says I've got to move past this.
So she works for El Oro Poco.
El Pollo Loco.
To make it even worse for him, Jackie says the line perfectly and gets to bask in the glory of sweet victory. I wonder how it would have gone through if they also had Gus Fring in this scene.
El Pollo Loco. Oh, Jackie! El Pollo Loco!
To kick off our top 10, we get to see Bruce Lee, who loved to mess around. He wasn't this uber serious dude who'd consider smiling to be a sin, but he did have a certain vibe to his demeanor, which made him come across as a man who takes his craft very seriously. That's most definitely true, but even so, from this footage of Game of Death, we see Mr. Lee having fun in his shoots and even acting silly to have some fun. He makes funny faces and even messes around with his opponent every now and then. It's almost as if we're seeing something we're not meant to see, and the fact that this movie came out after his passing makes the footage hit even harder. It's almost as if we're let in on a little secret that Mr. Lee kept from the world. Yeah, I know it's a bit dramatic, but I just can't help myself.
And you're not my brother. I'm not your brother? All the stuff we've been through? Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2?
Sometimes you must ask yourself the difficult questions like, what is life without your bro? I'm pretty sure that's what Chris Tucker had in mind when he created a pretty hilarious blooper with his bro Jackie Chan. Lee and Carter get into an argument here, with Lee adamantly telling Carter that he's not his brother. It's a very emotional moment because these two are supposed to have an unbreakable bond. However, Chris Tucker saw the opportunity for some comedic gold, so he decided to pile on with the emotional blackmail, only this time he also mentions the stuff they've been through, like Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2. It flows so smoothly in his delivery that it's a mystery how Tucker didn't become the next Eddie Murphy after this franchise. On that note, we really need Rush Hour 4 to happen, because comedy is a dying genre in today's day and age.
Maybe we should put on the dirty movie. Me? I like the ones with a story. What? I like the one with a locker room scene.
Michael Jai White takes out his enemy as well as his own weapon in this hilarious blooper from 2014's Falcon Rising. His character, John Chapman, is in the middle of a pretty serious fight against some skilled opponents, and even though he manages to flex his skills, bro accidentally knocks off the top of one of his weapons, which looks like some kind of axe thingy, but I know it wasn't that. Anyway, the point is that he seemingly dislodges the top after whacking the schmuck who thought he could take on an expert in martial arts. The reason it's so funny and makes it such a high spot is because you would never think to imagine someone like Michael Jai White being involved in a scenario like this. Bro's always super serious and looks like he's farming aura even when he doesn't mean to. It's definitely a goofy moment, and the look on his face says it all.
Jackie, we would love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that? His name is Lee, goddammit. Lee, we would love to see that.
You're just gonna have to get used to seeing more Rush Hour content now, because in this one, Carter gets War Machine pissed off of all people. Don Cheadle played the role of Kenny in a memorable cameo appearance, and this was way before the days of him controversially replacing Terrence Howard in the Iron Man films. There's nothing controversial about his role here though, as he gets in the middle of yet another name check session with Chris Tucker. Like, I get it, Jackie Chan is your brother from another mother, but you gotta call him by his character name when you shoot in a movie. Carter keeps referring to Lee as Jackie here, just like the earlier entry, and it annoys Don Cheadle to the point where he visibly breaks character and tells Carter that his partner's name is Lee. You can see the pain in bro's eyes, but you can also see his smile, so at least it was a fun experience for everyone involved, right?
May I offer you some peanuts?
Jackie Chan may have had issues with secret and seafood, but even Chris Tucker realized the difficulties of a second language. In this sequence, he's supposed to be trying his wrist skills on the Chinese air hostess or stewardess or whatever the term is nowadays. However, even a simple line like thank you turned out to be a task and a half for Tucker, as he kept fumbling whatever he was trying to say. This naturally made Jackie Chan laugh, but even the actress playing the flight attendant couldn't keep it together. This also prompted our boy Jackie to make it known that it's the same thing for him when it comes to English. That is true, considering how fluent he is in Chinese, so I suppose we need to cut him some slack for not being the most fluent when it comes to another language. But here's another thing, bro can actually speak around 7 or 9 languages. Yeah, I'm not even kidding with you. There are videos of him speaking Korean, German, and even Spanish amongst others.
¿Cómo estás? Bien. Poquito.
You understand what I say? You understand German? No. Bitteschön, Dankeschön.
Bitteschön, Dankeschön.
Zweimal Chop Suey. 124.
Eisbahn.
Eisbahn, ja.
Eisbahn.
7隻錶全部係最名牌，10大名錶嗰7隻我買晒。
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9。好靚。
好靚。
日本語少しね。少しね。忙しい。疲れた。Wasabi.
Bro can also speak both Cantonese and Mandarin Chinese, which is pretty impressive, even for the natives of the country.
See? How difficult is that? My English?
Yeah, after this sequence, you're never going to look at Donnie Yen the same way again. Bro has only one entry amongst 30, but it's so impactful that it shows up straight at number 5. Enter the Fat Dragon, as you can tell by its name, is a parody of Enter the Dragon, with Yen playing the role of Falcon Rising, who used to be a fit guy, but is now more of a chill guy and not necessarily so fit. The movie's supposed to be funny on its own, which it is, but there's a blooper of Donnie Yen getting his makeup and his fat suit done, which is definitely going to traumatize you if you've been following him even before the days of Ip Man. Bro is having so much fun in this new avatar of his that it makes it hard to believe that this is the same dude who took down 10 karate black belts simply because he could. All in all, it looks like a fun, harmless series of events, but the reason it's so high up on the list is because you'd never think of someone like Donnie Yen doing stuff like this.
Who's calling? Say hello to your dad.
Hello?
Yeah.
Don't you just hate it when you're in the middle of a scene with the biggest martial arts legend of all time and suddenly you get a phone call from the family? Yeah, this happened with Chris Tucker when he was shooting the airport scene with Jackie Chan. Carter's supposed to be teasing Lee about his new love interest, but he gets a phone call out of the blue, which meant the whole shot had to be redone. Everyone was naturally frustrated because of this, but then they learned that it was apparently Tucker's father or some family member who'd called. Want to know what's even funnier? When Chris told his family member that he's shooting with Jackie Chan, instead of apologizing and hanging up, they said they wanted to speak to him. Now, I don't blame this person because even I probably would have done the same.
I'm filming. I'm looking Jackie Chan dead in his eye. Call me back. Call me back.
Are you a professional? We are filming. You turn on your phone.
But it was nice to see Jackie playing along and mess with Tucker's family member by saying they were interrupting the shoot. Some guys called it rude at the time, but if you look at the tone with which he's speaking, you can tell that it's clearly just a joke.
They want to speak to you, Jack.
Hello?
I'm sorry about this.
We are filming right now. You sorry? You waste our film.
It did not work.
Jason Statham has managed to stack up some good entries on this list, but I don't think anything can top the time when Bro nearly broke down the crew with him during a rather dangerous stunt. It happened during an action scene in the Expendables 3. And to be fair to Mr. Statham, it wasn't even his fault. He's driving a truck with someone in the passenger seat, but the brakes suddenly failed, which led to him and his buddy to fall into the Black Sea. There were reports that 2 cameramen were knocked down by this error, but luckily no one was seriously injured.
I'm in the truck there and I slam on the brakes where I'm supposed to stop. Nothing happens. Next thing you know, I've hit 2 cameramen. I literally thought I'd killed them. It was like a split second later, I'm going 9 feet over the edge of this sort of concrete jetty, and I'm going down towards the Black Sea.
Statham even helped get some of the people out of the water, as per Terry Crews. Bro just changed his outfit and got right back into the truck to get the perfect shot. Now that's what I call an absolute sigma. This technically may have been more of a shooting accident than a blooper, but it did make sense to include it because of how dangerous it could have been. The friendship that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan developed over Rush Hour really needs to be studied, because here they beat up their enemies and dance the night away as if it's a Barbie party. This comes right after the both of them finish off their opponents, and I'm pretty sure neither director nor anybody else present would have expected to see the dance routine that followed after such a brutal breakdown. If you didn't know that this was a blooper, you probably would have thought that it was part of the script. That's how convincing these boys were in their display. It's the kind of energy that makes the filmmaking process a lot more enjoyable. Anyway, these two looked as if they were living their best lives, and I'm all for it, because the Rush Hour franchise has been a crucial part of my childhood, as it has been for a lot of other millennials. Just look at Lee and Carter go. It's almost as if they're rehearsing for the next Beyonce concert.
Cheese! Cheese! What? Freeze! A freeze!
As expected, Rush Hour has completely dominated this list, and to top it off we have Jackie Chan making arrests look like photo shoots. In this super iconic moment from Rush Hour 3, Lee's supposed to shout the word freeze as he points his gun at his target. Now, that's pretty normal, right? Because this is what we've been seeing in movies since the dawn of time. However, Jackie jumbled up his line and ended up saying cheese, which was so freaking hilarious that every single cast and crew member on set burst out laughing. Yeah, you can literally hear all of them losing it as Jackie strikes a super serious pose while pointing a gun and asking us to smile for the camera. He didn't even realize what was wrong till one of the set members corrected him. Yeah, I know that Mr. Chan's first language isn't English and that Chris Tucker entry was supposed to highlight how tough it is to be bilingual. However, you just can't help but laugh at this innocent mistake. It's easily the best blooper from the Rush Hour franchise, which automatically makes it the best blooper of the whole video. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.